What up, y'all? Forward Fabian back again with a video. So today we got The Hill. We're reacting to a video off The Hill. This is 12 alien craft in U.S. custody. Intel confirms one source claims pilot found Michael Shellenberger. So I guess they're referencing they got 12 alien spacecrafts apprehended in custody as we speak. Additionally, they caught an alien pilot, y'all. Now, I've been doing several reactions to a lot of the alien content, alien stuff. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Let me know if y'all really, you know what I'm saying, I guess, believing a lot that has to go on with a lot of this alien stuff, because a lot of it's just hearsay. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, subscribe to the channel if you're here for interesting content, man. This is a reaction channel. We react to content, videos, entertainment, music, news, whatever it may be. I react to it. So if you have recommendations, comment down below. Check out everything I got going on in the description of the video as well. Support a young entrepreneur, man. Additionally, check out the playlist page to where you can see all the different forms of content reactions I do on the channel. That's the whole library right there. So let's get into it, man.
In recent reporting, author Michael Shellenberger writes that multiple sources have confirmed whistleblower David Grush's claim that the United States government possesses a number of non-human vehicles. These sources are, quote, either high-ranking intelligence officials, former intelligence officials, or individuals who could be verified as being involved in the United States government UAP efforts for 3 or more decades, according to his reporting.
Shellenberger writes that the individuals said they had seen or been presented with, quote, credible and verifiable evidence that the U.S. government and U.S. military contractors possess at least 12 or more alien spacecraft, some of which they shared with AARO, or the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, quote, which AARO has refused to provide Congress. The office reportedly said it has not discovered any verifiable information, and, quote, because it does not have the authority to verify it and may not want to verify it. Joining us now to discuss is Twitter Files author and author of Apocalypse Never, Michael Shellenberger. Thank you for being with us, Michael.
Good to be with you.
So, confirmation, aliens are real. This is exciting. What do you make of the baker's dozen of alien spacecraft that we have?
He's saying this is exciting till the Independence Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's oh wow, ooh, ah, oh shit, oh my god. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's worth just pointing out that this is very shocking. The whistleblower in question, David Grush, used a term ontological shock, which is a little bit of jargon, but what he means is that the idea that we are not alone in the abstract is something that everybody, I mean, not everybody, but many people, the large majority of people agree with, that we are almost certainly not alone in the universe. However, the idea that there may already be contact or have been contact for quite a while between the U.S. military and non-human intelligence, non-human life forms is very shocking, and it's shocking for me personally because there's things I kept out of the story that I think were just too shocking and certainly harder to confirm. But I do think it's clear that the conversation about this has progressed from the idea that the Pentagon simply has some videos to a large and growing number of people with reason to know who say that, in fact, there are non-human spacecraft.
That is very intriguing that there's things that you left out of the story. I hope that you'll continue to investigate them. I'm wondering how exactly these sources determined that these crafts were non-human. Was it the material they were made out of, the method of construction? How exactly did they make that determination?
Unrecognizable, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, there wasn't much doubt. There are programs, according to these folks, that exist to not just study these technologies, but attempt to reverse engineer them. There was some, I don't know, disagreement or different levels of knowledge about the success in that. Certainly, the idea had been that there was efforts to try to operate these craft or reverse engineers to create them. There's one very interesting story, which is that a major aerospace company apparently tried to involve greater civilian scientists and engineers to reverse engineer the vehicles because the stovepiping or compartmentalization that exists really prevents the kind of innovation and sharing of knowledge that's actually essential to being able to achieve scientific and engineering goals. And so there was a very briefly floated idea to involve a larger number of scientists and engineers that was apparently rejected by the Pentagon. So these are, look, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. At the same time, extraordinary claims, you don't need extraordinary evidence to simply investigate them. And the claim here is that these craft are real physical objects. This is not a mass hallucination, that they exist in specific military bases and or in contractor facilities, and that members of Congress could go and actually find these facilities or go and actually make sure they get their way in there. And
That's just mind blowing to me, bruh. UFOs, aliens, the reality and the existence. Like, a lot of the stuff that people conceptualize through their imagination is actuality. Like, you know, people thinking about aliens, and like, I wonder where the first thought of an alien came from. Was it based off the fact that it was something that was an extraterrestrial or something unrecognizable flying object that somebody saw? Like, what was the first UFO or alien sighting? And were a lot of the ideas for film, TV, stories, the concept of an alien, were they formulated before an actual sighting? You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of the ideas we come up with as humans, bro, they're actually real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the thoughts and things like that. Like, we conceptualize things, we visualize things, we put them in animation and stories, but it's like, bro, this is actually real. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, when he was mentioning the studying, right, I think if you go into any account of people seeing UFOs and the capabilities of these crafts, ships, whatever you want to call them, tech is far advanced in comparison to ours, light years ahead. So how is, he was talking about people trying to man these crafts. You won't be able to fly that thing, my boy. Honestly, I don't even think you would even know how to operate it. I just would assume that just the way that these crafts can maneuver, the capabilities they have, you're not going to be able to just tap into one. You know what I'm saying? I little do I know, and who knows, maybe one of these scientists cracked the code, but it just wouldn't make sense. Like, I'm already thinking about like Prometheus and like Aliens and Predator. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't man or operate their machinery, bruh. You didn't understand the lingo, the language. A lot of those a lot of that equipment is like user recognized. You know what I'm saying? To that specific owner or user, there's some type of recognition or scan analysis
and try to find these craft themselves.
So obviously this is amazing that we have the craft at all, but I can't help but wonder, were there pilots of the craft? Do we know anything about that? Is there anything you can say to that effect?
David Grush, the whistleblower, did say on News Nation that there were, in some cases, non-human pilots.
What?
I did have confirmation of that from one of my sources. I kept it out of the story in part because it was one source, and also I felt like I really wanted to establish that there is strong evidence that there are craft, and I didn't want to get too much into what I had been told about the different potential of there being beings. It's a lot of ontological shock with just the craft, and I felt like, let's just give this a minute and let's spend a little bit more time doing this reporting. I would also say I'm not the only person that's interviewing these folks. There are other people in my article. I mentioned former Assistant Defense Secretary Christopher Mellon.
No sense to me.
Mentioned at least 4 witnesses. I think he said in his article in Politico over 4 people.
Is it just me, or am I just like, why are they so baffled and shocked? Oh my God, wow. Bruh. These talks have been going on since like Roswell. Why are y'all so flabbergasted, bruh? Because one journalist or the whistleblower came out and then y'all take his word for it? I just don't get it. Y'all know Area 51 exists. Y'all know there's been sightings. but it takes one guy to get on a news network to say, yes, it's true. Oh my God. I'm just confused, bro.
Well, I don't know if those are the same people I spoke to. We don't share information with each other, but there's more people that are finding the courage to speak. They're very scared. They don't want to lose security clearance, and they're also worried about retaliation. And David Grush, as you know, the whistleblower, felt like he needed to go to Congress because he was subject to retaliation.
I actually have chills right now hearing that there were potentially non-human pilots that were recovered along with the craft. That suggests to me that these were craft that crashed in some way, and that's how the U.S. military was able to recover them. Is that correct?
Nah, we caught him out the sky, baby girl.
Immerses you in a universe with thousands of.
Well, actually, that's that there are cases of that. There are people that say that there were crashes. There's also cases of what they call this a retrieval program. There's also cases, I was told, of craft being abandoned and craft making its way into U.S. military hands in other ways. And so I think that
he's being so vague, bro.
There is crash evidence, but there's also other mechanisms in which these craft have been obtained by the U.S. military.
So it sounds like, from what you're saying, your contacts are based in the United States. You've talked to military officials, people in the intelligence community in the United States. This figure, 12 or more, is specific to the crafts obtained by the U.S. military. Do we know anything more about potential crafts or pilots globally?
Well, Grush, the whistleblower, said in his statements that there is competition between the United States, China, and Russia in terms of developing reverse engineering these technologies. I should say that was not something I was able to confirm. And it wasn't that people disconfirmed it or denied it. It was just that the people I spoke to did not know that if Russia or China had these technologies or similar craft. I would also say, just on a personal level, I felt comfortable doing this story in part because of Grush's whistleblower testimony. Like the people I interviewed, I felt like somebody needed to kind of speak up and say.
You could tell Buddy paranoid. I mean, look how he's living. Look at his backdrop. He got a whole bunch of cassettes and DVDs. You know what I'm saying? Look like he ain't living the best. You know what I'm saying? Look like he on edge, just doing research every night. I don't know. When you play with a lot of these things in terms of exposing, I don't know, sacred docs or whatever it is, secret material, classified information, you know what I'm saying? You better be looking over your shoulder. The whistleblower guy, he's probably going to have people trying to knock at his door, trying to look into what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? When you speak out against these type of things or happily, openly revealing this type of information, it tends to kind of backfire sometimes. Like people are after you, bro. They want to silence you. So it's good that this is kind of coming out in more of an open space. You know what I'm saying? To the forefront, to where even like the government's not denying it, the Pentagon confirming it, stuff like that. Because I think, I think back in the day it was a little bit more serious if you was boldly speaking out about alien aircrafts and what was that Area 51 and the findings of the military. Now, if the own government's confirming, I think they're getting a little bit more lenient on it and just kind of giving society, keeping us in on the loop.
He's saying is not unusual that you can find a fair amount of people that will talk about this off the record, or in my case, not for attribution. I will say I haven't written any commentary about the piece itself. I am planning on writing more about it, but I have actually been interviewing people for several years and only felt comfortable at this point, and in part I felt obliged to share this research and to go back to folks. But I've been talking to folks for a long time, in part because you may know I have spent a long time working on nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is a dual-use technology. And it was actually in that work that I started to come across a lot of evidence of UFOs, or what have been rebranded UAPs, but a significant amount of interaction of these UAPs and UFOs, including the most famous alleged crash in history occurred around nuclear weapons test sites and also nuclear weapon sites.
I don't know why they switched it to unidentified aerial phenomena. That's real dumb. UFO, unidentified flying object. That's way more seamless.
Is there any connection, Michael, between this existence of the UFOs or the non-human entities and nuclear research?
There's definitely something going on that I certainly don't entirely understand. There's, in fact, there's a major book.
They're trying to nuke
interviewed
them.
the author of it called UFOs and Nukes that describes many cases of anomalous UFO activity around nuclear weapons sites, but there's also been significant UFO sightings and reports around nuclear power plants. The nature of those interactions suggests that whatever is behind those craft is expressing some concern around these sites. I'm very reluctant to get too far into it, in part because I'm a big supporter of nuclear energy. I think it's the only way to really address climate change and other important environmental issues. So, but nonetheless, nuclear obviously is as a weapon is a very powerful and potentially dangerous technology. And so it does seem like there is something big going on there. And I would just note, we have civilian control of our military in the United States, and we've now done stories on FBI whistleblowers, and we're very concerned about the role of the intelligence community in encouraging censorship by social media platforms. And for me, even though I have been looking at this particular issue for a long time, we have a situation here where we have a very important whistleblower who the intelligence community's inspector general said has credible and urgent information. We have the DoD's special department on this, which is called ARROW. In April, the director of that program said that there was no credible evidence. The inspector general contradicted that now the DoD.
This sounds like a whole back and forth, man. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. I mean, he gave us a lot of substantial information along the lines of doubling down in terms of what the whistleblower been saying, you know what I'm saying? He's feeling more ballsy, more confident to come out and speak out against these type of things. So we got 12 or more alien spacecrafts that have just been studied for the past, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Of course, bro, if they opened up Area 51, right, to become a tourist attraction, that thing would make multi-billions. But think about it. I guarantee you there's so many things they got there that they could just put on spectacle. It's a no-brainer. That's why I was surprised that these reporters it gives me chills that we're finding out that we found this and that. At this point in time, with all the multiple sightings, and I'm talking about extraterrestrials and UFOs, the talk about Roswell, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff happening there, Area 51, multiple sightings. It's like, bruh, whether or not you've seen one personally, there's probably an 85% chance this stuff exists. So I wouldn't be shocked. Oh my God, we have a pilot? There's aliens now? Like, throughout this whole history, these ladies may be a bit younger. Who knows? But they may be in the same age group as I am. I mean, I wasn't around for Roswell, but point being is, bro, I keep up with, history. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, what is y'all talking about? Well, oh my God, that gave me the chills that you said that there's a UFO crash. Bruh, they've been documenting these things throughout history. This should not be a surprise to you. So with that being said, let me know y'all's thoughts on that in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Fabian Road 10 million. I've been doing a lot of these story type videos, long length videos, 20-minute, 30-minute. A lot of people saying, a lot of good feedback in the comments. A lot of people like these, man. So I don't plan on stopping them anytime soon. So go ahead, engage with the content. If there's specifics you want to see, comment down below. We'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace.